Hello, I'm Mariana Velasquez. I'm a food designer and cookbook author, and this is our Brooklyn home. I live here with my husband, and this is a loft in a 1910 building. It used to be a reupholstery factory, and it definitely has those nuances. And with the space, with its natural light and high ceilings, we really wanted to tell a story of the places we've been. Come, let me show you. When you come into the loft, this is the first space you see. And we wanted to design an entryway that had a focal point. And in the center of the room, we have the artichoke lamp. It's a quintessential design by Paul Henningsen. And then this black table from Black Table Studio, which is made of a solid piece of wood. The studio is owned by a Colombian friend, and it's a really special table he gave us for our wedding. And this is our living room, and it's where we spend most of our time when we're together. So during the past 4 years that we've lived in this space, we were looking for the perfect sofa. We wanted something with a lot of character, but that was also comfortable. We discovered this pink piece. It's leather, and it fit the space like a glove. We have these open shelves, and here you'll see my husband's Diego's beautiful pieces that he's collected from different movies he loves, comics, and then we have combined collections of books. And I think using intimate pieces that are imperfect and tell stories make good design because it's true, it's authentic, it's unique. And this apartment is not only our home, but it's also where I create most of my work. I'll show you the little space where my creativity sparks. Behind me is our office, and color is a big source of inspiration. We decided to use these colors based on Le Corbusier's color palette. So these colors, Robin's egg blue and burgundy, combine together in a contrasting way. And because the sun hits that burgundy wall, it makes the room light very warm, and everybody looks and feels really good in it. So we have this working bench, which I found at the Dumbo flea market. And I think it used to be for shoemaking because it has this hole here. So it has drawers. It's kind of impractical, but it's one of those pieces that I cannot get rid of. This leather daybed was chosen by Diego. He's 6 feet tall, and he needed somewhere where he could really lounge, but it's just kind of decadent and super comfortable. The light in the room is really welcoming, and it's a space that's quiet and keeps you tucked in from the rest of the loft. We have a step-down dining kitchen area that adds a little bit of drama to the space. So this is the den, and it's a space that feels intimate to us, but also has pieces that I adore. My mother gave us this kilim rug that is handmade, and the color palette just matches the room, and it's just by coincidence. It wasn't planned. I've been collecting menus for a long time, but in one move, I just let go of all of them except for 2. And these are the French Laundry menu when I went in 1999, and then the second menu is from Per Se when Diego and I went with his aunt and uncle. So I always said that I didn't want to live anywhere in the city where you could see the train. But then when I discovered this apartment, seeing the train go by feels really cinematic, and you really feel like you're in New York. So this is my kitchen, and today I'm going to show you one of my favorite Colombian desserts. The recipe has different ingredients. Grated frozen yuca, and yuca is a root that has a lot of starch. It's also known as cassava. Then we have grated coconuts, grated cotija cheese, which is a salty, dry Mexican cheese. And then we have anise seeds, a 1/4 cup of butter, and I have to say one of my guilty pleasures, which is sweetened condensed milk. When we first moved into this apartment, the kitchen was just 2 electric burners and a microwave. And our landlord said, you can make anything in this kitchen. So we had the stove put in, another fridge, and kind of designed the space so that we could have an open cooking area. And this table is from Montpelier, Vermont, where I attended culinary school. And this is a farm table that has these sleeves I have to show you. And if this table could talk, I have hosted many dinner parties on it, and it's one of those elements in this house that just means so much. I'm going to go ahead and melt the butter. I love this little copper pot, which I found at a flea market in France, and I keep it just for this use. So I'll fold everything in. One of those things that really helps is to try to keep the kitchen clean as you cook. That way your area is always open. It's really bubbly. There's 1/4 cup here. So this dessert, the yucal, it's usually served in big feasts, like during Christmas celebrations. And because it has that sweet and savory component to it, it's great, for instance, served next to a pork roast or something really savory because it matches really well. And the texture of the yuca gives it a gumminess that just, it's so great. I'll show you. So this recipe is in my book, Colombiana, which we actually photographed in this very kitchen. I wrote Colombiana because after 22 years of living in the US and learning about cuisines from all over the world, I found that I needed to go back to my roots. And so I decided to sit down and start writing kind of a personal essay about how the food of where I grew up was such a big influence in my cooking and my style today. I understand that it really tells the story of how we entertain here at home, how we host, how we cook, and our philosophy around the ritual of the table. Go ahead and use these uchuvas, which are a gooseberry native of Colombia, and they're kind of savory, so they match really well with the combination of the yucal. Then I'm gonna use some mint to garnish as well. And then I'm gonna use some powdered sugar to go over the top. So the combination of being a food stylist and loving interior design comes from that profession of making a scene and making everything look beautiful to stay in people's memories forever. To me, this table is the centerpiece of my dining room. It's all about the ritual and setting a canvas for the food that I've prepared. So combining colors in an unusual way, mixing and matching elements, and also adding conversation pieces. I have these vases, which are these melted ceramic glasses and mugs, and you can always save the day with deli flowers. Thank you for joining me, and buen provecho.
There's even more stunning homes and designs just waiting for you. Come on in, the water's fine. Like and subscribe because a lot of these homes have spectacular pools.